For more than 4 decades, Michelle Pfeiffer has been one of the most familiar faces in Hollywood. From Scarface to Batman Returns, from Dangerous Liaisons to the Fabulous Baker Boys, she built a career that most actors could only dream of. So when a headline recently suggested that Michelle Pfeiffer might be done making movies, many fans were shocked. At 68 years old, was one of Hollywood's most respected actresses really ready to walk away? The story spread quickly. But there was a problem. Michelle Pfeiffer says that is not what she meant at all. In fact, when she was asked about the retirement rumors on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon, she called them ridiculous. So what actually happened? Why did people think Michelle was retiring? And what did she really say about her future in Hollywood? The answer is more interesting than the headline. The story began earlier this month, when Michelle Pfeiffer appeared at an event connected to Apple TV and The Hollywood Reporter. During the discussion, she talked about her recent work on television and how much she had been enjoying working with large groups of actors. She spoke about the different kinds of roles she had been getting on television and how much she enjoyed the experience. Then she made a comment that immediately caught people's attention. Pfeiffer said that she never wanted to star in another movie. It sounded like a huge announcement. After all, when one of Hollywood's biggest actresses says she does not want to star in another movie, people naturally start asking one question. Is she retiring? The headlines quickly followed. Some reports made it sound as if Michelle Pfeiffer had decided to leave movies behind for good. For fans who grew up watching her in the 1980s and 1990s, the idea was hard to believe. Michelle Pfeiffer was not just another actress. She was one of the stars who helped define an era of Hollywood. She had played powerful, complicated, and unforgettable characters for years. Her career had already survived changes in the movie business, long breaks, and different stages of Hollywood. Now, after all that, it seemed like she might be ready to stop. But there was something missing from the story. Michelle had not actually said, "I am retiring." That became clear when she appeared on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon on August 20th. Fallon brought up the reports and asked her about the idea that she was retiring. Michelle immediately pushed back. She said the idea was ridiculous and asked where anyone had gotten the idea that she was retiring. She explained that her earlier comments had been taken out of context. And that changes the story completely. Michelle Pfeiffer was not saying that she never wanted to act again. She was talking about the kind of work she enjoys most right now. In recent years, television has changed in a major way. Many television shows now give actors more time to develop their characters. Large groups of talented actors can work together for many episodes, and stories can become much deeper than they often are in a 2-hour movie. That is exactly what Michelle has been enjoying. She recently appeared in The Madison, a drama from Taylor Sheridan. She also stars in Margot's Got Money Troubles, a comedy series on Apple TV. Both projects gave her the chance to work with large casts and spend more time inside a story. And according to Michelle, that kind of work has been much more enjoyable for her than carrying an entire movie by herself. There is another reason this matters. Michelle Pfeiffer is not an actress who needs to prove that she can carry a movie. She already did that decades ago. In 1983, she appeared in Scarface alongside Al Pacino. Her role as Elvira Hancock became one of her best-known performances. A few years later, she played Madame de Tourvel in Dangerous Liaisons. The role earned her an Academy Award nomination. Then came The Fabulous Baker Boys, where her performance as Susie Diamond became one of the most praised roles of her career. She received another Oscar nomination for that performance. And then there was Batman Returns in 1992, Pfeiffer became Catwoman. Her version of the character became one of the most remembered performances in the history of comic book movies. Even decades later, people still talk about her performance as Selina Kyle. She brought humor, sadness, danger, and confidence to the character, and the role became one of the defining moments of her career. But Michelle's career was never simply about being famous. There were periods when she stepped away from the spotlight. She spent more time with her family and worked less. Then she returned. She took on different roles and continued finding new ways to work. That is important because Hollywood careers do not always move in a straight line. Sometimes an actor works constantly. Sometimes they disappear for years. Sometimes they return when the right role appears. Michelle Pfeiffer has already lived through several versions of Hollywood, and now she appears to be entering another one. Instead of chasing huge leading roles, she seems to be enjoying roles where she can become part of a larger story. That does not mean she has lost interest in movies. In fact, when Jimmy Fallon asked her about the idea of starring in another film, Michelle made her position clear. She said that of course she would like to star in another movie. She simply wants the right opportunity. That small difference is what caused the whole misunderstanding. She was talking about what she enjoys, the internet turned it into retirement. And this is something that happens to famous people all the time. One sentence can be taken from a longer conversation and suddenly become a headline. A person can say something casual, and within hours it can look like a major announcement. In Michelle's case, the situation became even more confusing because she really had said that she did not want to star in another movie. That sentence was real. But the meaning behind it was different from what many headlines suggested. She was praising ensemble work, she was not announcing the end of her career, and there is a good reason she feels so strongly about ensemble projects. Working with a large cast can give an actor a different kind of experience. Instead of carrying every scene, you become part of a group. You get to watch other actors work. You share scenes with people who may bring something unexpected to the story. And you can focus on building one character instead of worrying about carrying an entire production. Michelle has recently worked with actors including Elle Fanning, Nicole Kidman, and Nick Offerman. Her role in Margot's Got Money Troubles has also brought her something she has not always received from film work. More time with a character. More room to explore the role. More chances to work with other actors. And that new chapter is already getting attention. Michelle has been nominated for an Emmy for her supporting role in Margot's Got Money Troubles. The Television Academy lists her as a nominee for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy Series at the 2026 Emmy Awards. Think about that for a moment. At 68, Michelle Pfeiffer is not quietly disappearing from Hollywood, she is receiving one of the biggest awards nominations in television. That is a very different picture from the retirement headlines. Her recent work has also reminded audiences why she became such a respected actress in the first place. The roles may look different from the characters she played decades ago, but the talent is still there. And in some ways, television may be giving her opportunities that movies did not always provide. This is also why the idea of retirement may have been especially surprising to her. Michelle has already taken breaks from acting before. She knows what it is like to step away from the spotlight. She also knows what it feels like to come back when the right project appears. So she does not seem interested in making a dramatic announcement that she is finished forever. Instead, she seems to be taking things as they come. If the right movie appears, she could do it. If the right television role appears, she could do that. She is simply more interested in choosing projects that give her something meaningful to play. And honestly, that may be one of the best positions an actor can reach. After decades in Hollywood, Michelle Pfeiffer does not need to say yes to everything. She does not need to prove that she can still be the biggest star in the room. She does not need to make a movie simply because someone offers her one. She can wait for something that actually interests her. That is very different from retirement. So, is Michelle Pfeiffer really retiring from Hollywood? Based on what she has said herself, the answer is no. The retirement story came from a comment about the kind of movies she wants to make. Her words were taken as a much bigger statement than she intended. And when the reports reached her, she decided to clear it up herself. She still wants to act, she still wants to make movies, and she is still excited about working with other actors. What has changed is not whether Michelle Pfeiffer wants to work. It is what she wants that work to look like. After spending more than 40 years in Hollywood, perhaps she has earned the right to be selective. The woman who played Elvira Hancock, Catwoman, and so many other unforgettable characters is not closing the door. She is simply choosing which doors are worth walking through. And for fans who grew up watching Michelle Pfeiffer, that may be the best news of all. Because Hollywood may have been ready to write her final chapter, Michelle Pfeiffer clearly isn't.